guys, and welcome to another video. I just filmed a video outside and I've been walking and walking and walking, so I'm already out of breath. And I'm sorry that I'm breathing so heavily, but today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith.
This is where the fun begins.
Now, why am I reviewing a movie that I've seen 100 times before? Because it's the 20th anniversary and because I love Star Wars and I got to see Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith in theaters for the first time. And I'm so excited. I was too young and I didn't know Star Wars existed. I didn't know anything about it at the time it came out in 2005. So later on, it became my favorite movie in the whole Star Wars franchise and one of my favorite movies of all time. And so my one regret was that I was not able to go see it in theaters. I had a rock in my shoe, so that's why I was like swaying. That's my one regret, is that I wasn't able to go see it in theaters. My cousin felt the same way. So for me and my cousin to get to see it together with my husband and my sister, it was a dream come true. So let's talk about it. I'll give you all of my thoughts in this video. So first of all, it still holds up. Like, it's still my favorite movie of the whole franchise, and it's still one of my favorite movies of all time. That hasn't changed. And the fact is that the CGI in it actually still looks good. Like, visually speaking, this is a 20-year-old movie, right? And you're watching it, and you watch like other movies that are that old or a little older, like Jurassic Park or something, and you're like, that doesn't look so good, you know? The CGI doesn't hold up. It's still a good movie and you still enjoy it, but it's like, you can tell it's CGI. But the CGI in this movie holds up. It is visually stunning. Star Wars was so far ahead of its time. I had some white stuff falling from the trees on top of me. That was weird. Star Wars and George Lucas was so far ahead of its time. And like, you know, a lot of the critiques complained, like, it doesn't look real, it's not as good as practical effects, blah, blah, blah. It's just blue screen and green screen.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
It set the precedent for like everyday people being able to use green screen now so commonly, and it pushed the film industry forward, and it still holds up. Like, it was so technologically advanced. Second of all, watching it on the big screen, like, we have a big TV, but like, and it could have been because I've seen it a million times, but I was actually able to see a lot more in the background and like a lot more of the extra stuff that was going on. And it was kind of like really cool because there was a lot of little things that I didn't really notice before. Like at the end when Obi-Wan gets in Padme's ship, I never noticed him actually get on the ship in the big wide shot, and then it cuts to him in the back sneaking in like a closet or something. But I never noticed that, like little things like that, you know. Third thing I noticed, the sound effects were so loud. Like, I was hearing so much more than I ever did before watching it in theaters. And it was like, oh, like the one that I remember that stood out that stood out a lot was at the end fight with Anakin and Obi-Wan when they're jumping onto the big pillar that falls in the lava. The wires were actually like creaking, but they were like really, really loud creaking. I've never heard that before. So, and then fourth thing, I think I'm on number 4, the music. The music's always been powerful, but keep in mind, I bought the soundtrack, and this was one that I had the CD to it, so that ages me. That tells you how long ago this has been. And I would listen to it over and over and over again. I had my favorites. I'd skip like the Grievous one where he, like some of the Grievous themes, that sort of thing. So I know the music, I know the beats, and I remember the movie so well that I know, okay, this part of the song is when this thing happens, and I can visually picture the movie, right? So, but the music is so powerful. I have seen this movie so many times. I would argue probably close to 100 times in my lifetime, like maybe even more than that. So many times. And when you watch a movie, like, some of the feelings get dulled. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're an author and you edit your book, you stop feeling things about it. I don't know if I feel much of anything for Hunter anymore, just because I've read it so many times. However, I cried. I actually cried. Like, it was still so powerful emotionally. I cried. I haven't cried at this movie in so long. And I laughed. Like, the jokes were funny. Like,
not to worry, we are still flying half a ship.
and I noticed a lot more things too. Like, everybody always is like, oh, the prequels were bad, but Clone Wars Anakin, that's who we should have gotten. The whole opening sequence of episode 3 with them rescuing the Chancellor, the banter between Anakin and Obi-Wan and Anakin's attitude, that is Clone Wars Anakin. Like, the beginning of the movie is so amazing because, again, that is the only form of Clone Wars Anakin, like the war hero that we have, like the Jedi Knight war hero, like that's Anakin in the beginning. And it's like so nice to see in live action. So, and people are like, the acting is horrible. The acting is really good. Like, Hayden Christensen made his voice sound a little bit more monotone to match Darth Vader, because you wanted to be able to see the transition that was him. But you can, like, there was one scene, I don't remember what scene, I'm trying to think. You can see the pain in his eyes. Like, and then Palpatine, the fight between Mace Windu and Palpatine, once he doesn't have to hide who he is anymore, you can see how crazy, like, he just goes crazy with power. Like, he loves power, he craves it, and he doesn't have to hide who he is anymore. After years of squelching that part of him and hiding that part of him, he just unleashes it. That's when he's unlimited power, and he just goes crazy. The way that Mace Windu fights, and the way, like, his facial expressions, and how you can see that he is a light side, like he's a Jedi, but he uses the dark side in a light side kind of way when he fights. The fight scenes and the choreography, like, these are some of the best fight scenes, I would argue, in film history, and certainly the best ones out of Star Wars. Like, including like modern day Disney Star Wars, they've never been able to replicate this. Even Hayden Christensen, as skilled as he is, when he was fighting Ewan McGregor, like, they did all that. Like, that's not sped up. The end fight scene in episode 3, they were that skilled, and even them, as skilled as they are under certain directors and the choreographers that they have in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, not quite the same. It's not quite the same as Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator and choreographer in the prequels. So Disney's never been able to replicate that. It's amazing. It still is amazing, and it's doing well. Like, it is, I think, the second highest, I gotta stop standing underneath this tree. It is the second highest grossing film on a re-release, behind The Lion King, when I think they re-released The Lion King in 2011 or something. Like, it is insane how well it's done. It's gotten almost $30 million or $1 billion in it, and I know that Disney's doing this to make up money that they lost with, like, Snow White, and it's sad that they're profiting off of George Lucas's hard work, and they now own it, and they're using that to make a profit when their work is failing. That is so sad and so pathetic to me, but it is so wonderful to see. I've seen so many things online of just love for Revenge of the Sith, love for the prequels, love for Hayden finally, after so much criticism, so much hate, and so much unnecessary criticism too, that it's been wonderful to see. It was a dream come true, and I really loved it, and Star Wars needs to get back to this. Like, this, if this doesn't tell Disney and Lucasfilm that this is what Star Wars fans want, then nothing will, and they will never change. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In the meantime, if you liked this review of Revenge of the Sith, then check out my review of the Ahsoka show. I reviewed, like, every episode in it that also had Hayden Christensen in it, and we got an episode with the live action Clone Wars, so check that out. You don't want to miss it.